Hi, good morning everyone. Let's get started with our next phase in the upgrade, which is the checks phase. So before that, we can see that these are the errors which need to be fixed. So there is some manual action which need to be performed. That is, there is an insufficient space which can be seen from this file in the sum folder under ABAP log, and this file will show you the syntax of how do we create a table space, which is PSAP SR3731. We need to create this table space using the BR space. So using BR space, what we are doing is we are creating a table space and we are extending the table space as well. So depending on the size of the table space, we'll add the containers worth of 20 GB each. So just make sure that we know these BR tools, the syntax of the BR tool, and in this particular case you can see that using the BR tool we have invoked the BR space and we are trying to create this particular table space first. So this is the syntax basically for using BR space or BR tools to add the space in the to create a table space first. So we are first step, as a step 1, we are trying to create a table space called PSAP SR31. Okay, so this table space creation, so the way the syntax to create this will be provided by the upgrade tool itself, and the file, you can see the file will be created automatically when we are running the upgrade phase, and it will get stuck at this particular phase asking for manually go and create a table space and extend the table space using these parameters. So that is extremely important. Here you can see that I am trying to extend this table space as step 2. Okay, step 1 is still running, so by the time step 1 completes we'll get into the step 2, that is BR space, and this is basically the syntax to extend the table space by size 20,000, and here you can see the option auto extend on. So we have selected an extend option auto extend on in the BR space. So just make sure that we specify these parameters, and we don't have to remember this because as you have seen that this is listed here in the upgrade utility itself. Okay, so we will run through that, and you can see these errors. There are some errors which need to be fixed as well. There are some warnings are there basically under those warnings are basically telling that the setup tables are not empty. Those need to be fixed by your BI or BW team before you can continue further. And you can see there are some locked objects as well. So basically this particular transport is not released, so we have to go and release the transport before the upgrade can proceed further. So here you can see that I am in SE09 and I am trying to figure it out which transport. Basically we gave the transport number, so we'll just come here and release the transport request first, and once the transport request is released, so what we'll do is we will release the transport. So first step to this is releasing of the transport request, and second step is releasing the transport itself. So just make note that here you can see it's a repair because we are trying, in this particular case the standard SAP object has been modified. So just take note of this, and we will see that after releasing this transport we will get into the system to fix the issue. Okay, so as you can see that we need to go to this particular user because we logged in with DDK user, and as you guys know that using DDK user we cannot release the transport. So we have logged in with the DDK user. Click on release transport. You can see the right arrow created, which means that the objects are released. Now we need to release the transport as a whole. So here you can see that the transport has been released. You can see the right arrow mark which is telling that by user test this transport has been released in the system PE1. Okay, so this is what is about releasing the transport. So let's review the log file again and see what can be done to see the different errors which is available in the system. So we have seen three different things. One, manual activity, which is the creation of table space, then extension of table space. So that information is there in a file with the name as .lst file. Second thing is we need to increase the second thing actually is we need to release the transport, so we have done that. And third thing, basically the caution is during the upgrade 13 dictionary objects will be imported in your PE1 system which may have been modified there. So you can have a look at these modifications in detail by running SPDD. So as we saw, there are four activities. One is the info, second is the warning, first is the error which is insufficient free space, then front-end software about that, then the errors which is there about the setup tables, locked objects which have been found in the system. And so basically these are the different things which we need to take note, and we need to make sure that we acknowledge them before we continue further in this particular upgrade cycle. So that is extremely important. So what we have done is that we will be, so in any upgrade activity there will be a new table space creation. Say for example, if we are upgrading to 7.31, we will be creating a table space by the name PSAP SR3 and the number will be 731. Okay, so that particular, the table space with that particular number will get created automatically. Now we are trying to run this utility to increase the table space, that is extend the table space in the system. Okay, so this way you can see that there is another activity which is ready, which I'll be executing once this activity is complete. So basically whatever is provided by this particular command, whatever is provided by this utility, we need to run this to fix all the errors in the system. And we could have run this directly using command line and using shell script also. We could have created a script, this being a Windows system, we could have created a script to run this automatically. Okay, but in our case we are running it manually, one step by one step. In the step one we created the table space. In the second step we are trying to extend it, and in the third step also, third and fourth step, we are going to extend it. So now you can see that we have extended it. Now what I'll do is I'll just click on next and we can continue to the next phase from there on. Okay, so that is about how we can create a table space using BR space, how we can extend the table space using BR space, and why it is required, why the BR space, why this particular utility, what this utility is. So depending on the different vendors will have different utilities, but it is pretty straightforward and is actually vendor specific, because you have an option to create a table space using vendor specified tools. You have an option to extend the table space using the vendor specified tool. So just make sure that we follow these tools properly, we follow them till the time all the required activity related with table space, related with space, related with database is taken care successfully. Okay, here you can see that I have done first step of adding a space in PSAP SR3701, and I have extended it twice. So what is pending is we need to extend it one more time. So I'm just running this again in the system so that we run it one more time. Here you can just watch for the syntax. If we run BR space, this you will again use the same syntax, and you will use the syntax called, if you see the steps which is involved. So first is timestamped is done in this particular directory where we have the SAP reorg. Then we have control file copy created. So this is the control copy. and after that directory e:/oracle/p1/sap data1/ this gets created. Okay, now what is happening is that the extension that is extending table space psap sr3731 is taking place right now. So that is basically an overview of how the errors are reported, and especially for the space extension we get it done in a particular file. Okay, that's what actually I wanted to cover in this particular training session. Thank you for joining and have a nice